Though we have all traveled many uncertain roads, we have always recognized something wasn't right. We searched high and low, yet our paths had never intersected. Our desire to seek truth, then to speak true, has brought us all together. That thing of ours is rooted in truth, because truth is the only unshakable foundation. In the greatest book, it states in John 8:32, "For ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free."
Truth is a powerful force. It is the foundation on which all great achievements are built, and the bedrock of trust and respect in any relationship. When we are rooted in truth, we can be confident that our decisions and actions are grounded in reality rather than in speculation or wishful thinking.
The pursuit of truth is not always easy. It requires courage, perseverance, and a willingness to face uncomfortable facts. But in the end, the truth is always worth it. It allows us to make better decisions, to build stronger relationships, and to create a more just and equitable world.
From politics and world events to entertainment and pop culture, we've got you covered. We'll explore our history and the stories that matter to uncover the truth that lies at the heart of each one. With our fingers on the pulse of the news cycle, we'll provide the insights and analysis you need to stay informed and engaged. As we stay rooted in truth and let the truth guide us in all that we do, let us be willing to listen, to learn, and seek out the facts, even when they challenge our own assumptions or beliefs.
Let us never forget that the pursuit of truth is not just an individual endeavor, but a collective one. Only by working together
With honesty and integrity,
can we build a better future for ourselves
And for generations to come.
This
is That Thing of Ours. How's it going, everybody? Thank you for joining us today on this Tuesday, 15th of October, 2024. We'd like to thank each and every one of you for joining us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, X, Rumble, and Pill.net.
and if you haven't already, please take a moment and give us that virtual hug. If you are over on YouTube or Rumble, hit that thumbs up. If you're over on Pill, take that red pill. If you're over on X, smash that heart. And if you're on Facebook, there's like 5 different choices. Pick any one you want.
Clickety, clickety.
We missed all of y'all.
We did.
We really did. Let's say hi to everyone.
Hi to everyone.
Aaron in
Aaron,
the house.
What's up, Aaron?
F. Clint.
Hey, F. Clint, what's going on, man?
Got Chachi in the
Hey,
house.
Chachi.
Brother Bill, we missed you yesterday.
What's up, Brother Bill?
We do miss you guys when you're not here. We
I know.
notice.
It's noticed.
Yeah.
Y'all
Mike
noticed.
in the house.
What's up, Mike? Let's see. I know Wendy's in there too.
Let's see. There's Miss Wendy. We
Hey,
missed
Wendy.
you.
There you are. How you doing?
Let's see. Oh, Miss Jan.
There's Graham Jam. Graham Jan. Jam.
Oh, she said it's cold there today.
It's cold. Uh-oh. Cold. Well, it's either summer or winter. I don't know
Yeah.
if there's fall or spring so
I
much.
know.
Unless you're in Vegas, then it's really rough today. It's currently 88 degrees.
And we have Light Spirit over on Pilled.
What's up, Lightspear? Hope everybody's doing good. And hello to everybody out there that catches the show afterwards. We do
Wendy
appreciate
missed
all of
us,
y'all
too.
joining us.
That makes me happy.
Oh, that's
Oh,
nice.
wait, before we get started.
Before we get started.
Aaron.
Oh, here we go.
Aaron.
Here we go.
I don't have your phone number. Unmute me now, or I'm going to throw something at you. I don't have your phone number, and Santino wouldn't give it to me. But he thought he'd be cute this morning and look me dead in the eyes and go, "I'm sorry." So I'm telling on him.
You feel better now?
Yes,
Whatever.
brat. So you have been thrown under the bus.
Yes, you have thrown me under the bus.
I did.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Mhm. Aaron needs to know.
All right. Well, I'm sure Aaron will have something to say about it.
I'm sure he will.
In the meantime, why don't we move on with the show?
Oh, wow.
What? Oh,
Wendy
getting down in the
says
50s. What?
getting down in the 50s tonight. Never happens.
We haven't
this
talked
time
about
of
this
year
on the show.
Wow.
So Kay and I have had a lot of conversations about weather patterns.
See that? He said, "Give me."
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
his number.
I'm right on it.
I'll steal his phone and take it.
Whatever.
No, I didn't. I told him I was going to tell Aaron. I did say, "Give me Aaron's phone number right now." He's like, "Hell no."
I'm not going to give you Aaron's phone number so that way you can tell on me. Snitches get stitches. Anyway, so what we were saying is Kay and I have been having conversations about weather patterns. And something that we've noticed is whenever it's a really hot summer, it seems like it's always followed by a really cold winter.
Yes.
And when it's mild, on one side or the other, it seems to be the same. Since we had such a ridiculously hot summer, we're really thinking that it's going to be a nasty winter this year.
Ooh, yeah.
37.
Yuck.
My God. Oh,
Yuck.
God. In the Carolinas already?
Ooh, that's cold.
37 degrees.
That's cold. You're talking to a Vegas girl.
Screw that, yeah.
It's
Wandering the desert has its benefits.
It's 88 degrees here. It's 88 degrees.
I already said that. You were too busy trying to tell on me.
Well, you deserved it.
Whatever.
See, everyone missed you, Wendy. Oh,
Virginia.
He's in,
well, not that much further north.
You have a big jacket, right, sir?
Oh, I'm sure.
I'm praying. That's cold. That's like.
It's too early for the 30s.
I know. I bet you
way
it's
too early.
Where's Miss Bethany? I need to know what the temperature is.
Oh, it's got to be freezing cold.
It's got to be.
There.
Ooh, yuck.
It's 45. No.
Ooh.
Usually in the 50s and the 30s by now. Really, Aaron? All right. Been in the 80s and 50s, barely getting the 70s and 50s. This is at 6,500 foot.
Oh, goodness, misstep. Oh.
Ugh.
We're getting down
now that we're getting everybody's weather.
Yeah, we're getting down to 62 tonight.
Yeah, something like that.
So just waiting on Miss Bethany and so we can find out what her temperature is.
Oh, geez. Well, why don't we move on with the show? And then when she shows up, she'll show up.
Okay.
Thank you.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. You want to read that, please?
Hilarious. Trump crushes Bloomberg News editor-in-chief John Micklethwait over tariffs.
You ready?
Yeah.
You're also talking about 20% tariffs on the rest of the world. That is going to have a serious effect on the overall economy. And yes, you're going to find some people who will gain from individual tariffs. The overall effect could be massive.
I agree it's going to have a massive effect, positive effect. It's going to be a positive, not a negative.
Well,
let me just I know how committed you are to this, and it must be hard for you to spend 25 years talking about tariffs as being negative and then have somebody explain to you that you're totally wrong. It'll have a negative. It will have. I'll go a step further.
40
if
million,
you don't
40
do
million,
this,
President Trump, 40 million,
no
40 million jobs is a lot of jobs to rely on.
They're all coming back.
Those are 40 million jobs. Those are 40 million jobs in America that rely on trade.
Are you ready? John Deere, great company. They announced about a year ago they're going to build big plants outside of the United States, right? They're going to build them in Mexico.
And you threaten them with tariffs and they stop.
That's right. I said, if John Deere builds those plants and not selling anything into the United States, they just announced yesterday they're probably not going to build the plants, okay? I kept the jobs here.
Thoughts?
They have no choice but to stick with their narrative that tariffs are bad. But that's what actually this country ran on before. And if it's something competing like tractors or something like that, then we want our products to, be utilized first in our country at the very least. Also, countries use tariffs against us all the time, and we just accept that as part of trade. I remember hearing about how Japan had ridiculous markups on American Levi's jeans. I don't know if they still do or don't, but I know that was a thing at least once upon a time. And that's one of our trading partners. That's one of our allies. So if that's how our allies treat us, why wouldn't it be acceptable for us? Oh God, I wish I could remember his name. He was the actor that was running for president. He was actually a good one. It was before Trump was running though. God, he passed away. Anyways, he talked about the mirror tariff, and that's the real point that I'm getting at is that, like, the mirror tariff. If you're going to show us a 20% tariff, here's a mirror. Look, we'll give you a 20% tariff as well. It's just, that's the way it is, and that's the way it should be, because trade and the ability to move goods outside of our country, to do exports and imports, are important as well. We need both of them, but it has to be a fair playing field. Hey, Turber, what's going on? Thanks for joining. Anyway, so yeah, if Bloomberg is going to talk about how tariffs are bad, yeah, we haven't been doing tariffs, and if we have been, they haven't been very effective. So why would they put up ineffective tariffs, and then they tell us that all tariffs are bad? Yet when Trump showed up, we had all sorts of additional trade going on, if nothing else, at least because the threat of tariffs were there. Also, if you're going to take our jobs out of our country and move them to other countries because of cheap slave labor is a little bit, more slavey for them, then why are we going to want to reduce our jobs so that way people who are willing to make a lot less send us the products back that we were originally producing to begin with? And because they get paid less, they're going to care less, and so the quality is going to go down. It becomes this self-licking ice cream cone of we the people get screwed over. And well, yeah, that's why Trump is going to get reelected again.
Exactly.
Aaron says, 100% Santino, we ran on tariffs. Foreigners paid taxes to do business with us. There was no income tax for the first 120 years or so, 140. Yeah, it was quite a while that we had no taxes. It wasn't until after the Civil War when the whole concept of paying for these things, kind of showed up as some kind of a tax. But it was after World War I when we got it permanently. Yeah. Thanks, Woodrow Wilson. Worst president ever.
Oh, I know.
Maybe next to Barry. I don't know. Barry was bad.
He was. He really was.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, hey, Agent Smith.
Oh, what's up, Agent Smith? Are you having some issues over there?
No, not me.
Preemptive.
He's given Bethany a hard time. So please leave her alone.
There you go.
She wants to sign on. So leave her alone and please let her log on.
Okay.
That's what I have to say.
Thank you.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Want to read that, please?
RFK Jr. wonders about weird situation that has Democrats embracing Dick Cheney and John Bolton.
You ready?
That is a weird situation.
I know.
Yeah.
Let's go.
All right.
Now you have this weird situation where Dick Cheney, who was the greatest villain to the Democratic Party, he was the guy who gave us the Patriot Act. He gave us the torture regimes. He gave us the censorship and surveillance state that came out of the Patriot Act, and he gave us the Iraq War, which was a war that was built on deception and pretense. Everybody knows that now. We said we'd never do that again, and it was the worst foreign policy cataclysm in American history. And now Dick Cheney and John Bolton, the people who gave us that, have endorsed Kamala Harris. And 225 other neocons have the people who were driven out of Washington because they were so discredited after Iraq, have now endorsed Vice President Harris. And they're not endorsing her because they've changed. They still think all those were good ideas. They're endorsing her because the Democratic Party has fundamentally changed.
Thoughts?
We kind of talked about this briefly. It's like, why are all of a sudden the Democrats in love with the Cheneys? But I think that that's another one of those things to wake people up. If this isn't one of those things that tells you that you're watching a movie, then I don't know what could possibly get you to wake up to that concept. Trevor says, wait till they find out his hunting parties. Yeah, Yeah, it's been a while since we've talked about hunting parties around here. Yeah, it wasn't just one person that that he accidentally took a shotgun to, is what I understand.
Exactly.
Yeah. So this tells you,
Hey, Rambo.
Hey, Rambo, what's going on, man? So this tells you that they really are grasping for straws, that they're trying to get anybody that has any kind of star power whatsoever to give them that endorsement. And really, they're kind of backed into a corner with the whole thing in that regards, because, well, they've alienated so many people, and the people who want to give Americans freedom are disassociating themselves with it. And they've been, the left has always done really good about ostracizing people. And now it's kind of getting to that point, or it's been to that point for a long time now, where they've ostracized enough people that now they're the minority that nobody wants to talk to. This is kind of one of those boomerangs. Now they have to, I guess, kiss the ass connected to the toes that they used to step on.
Yeah. That's about right. Okay, this video. This is what I was trying to go over yesterday that they muted. Okay. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Want to read that, please?
Ian Carroll broke down the Tim Walz grooming and let's see, P3DO stuff with boys and the allegations.
You ready?
Yes.
Dude, the new October surprise just dropped, and it's pretty awkward for Democrats right now. If you haven't heard the news, I'm about to summarize the allegations being made against Tim Walz for rampant SA against minor students at the schools where he worked. And I say it's getting awkward because we just went through multiple years of believe every victim that accused Trump of literally everything under the sun with very little evidence to corroborate it. And these claims against Walz have not been corroborated yet in a major way. But at the end, you'll see why I think we're about to find out. And personally, I don't think it's looking good for Tim. Now, the story is being broken by DocNet YouTube on X, and this is entirely credit to his work, his ongoing work with child victims. And he's the one that's receiving these emails. He's the one that's publishing them. Go follow him on X. And it started on August 1st of this year when he received an email that said, "Hi, Doc. He was a teacher of mine at Alliance High School in Nebraska." This person said that because of Doc's work with child trafficked children, that's why he reached out to Doc. He says that Walz manipulated him, did unspeakable things to me. I can give you details that nobody else can, including later on specific details about tattoos and scars that Walz apparently has on his body in places that you would only know about if you had been intimate. But we'll get there in a minute. And I'm going to try to make this video at least Instagram friendly, although I'm not going to be posting it to TikTok. So I'm going to let you pause and read between the lines if you want to know all the details that this says. But this kid alleges, not a kid anymore. This is back in the 90s. But they allege they were 14 years old when they met Tim Walz. Then describes what can only be described as grooming in a major way, including being invited to a Indigo Girls concert by his teacher, by his assistant coach. Allegedly, it was just this young boy and Tim Walz at the concert, and then major grooming ensues. Then the spice happens at the end. Overwhelmingly tired from the drinks, maybe, who knows. And then they drive home. And this whole email is like the spicy details about what apparently allegedly happened on the first outing with Tim Walz. I'll summarize it for you. You can screenshot and wait and look if you want, but basically Tim Walz took him to a gay bar allegedly, and then drove him home allegedly, though he doesn't remember that part. And then he sort of comes to while receiving that from Tim, allegedly. And this was just the start of a long, I would continually meet Mr. Walz during 1995, spent a lot of time with him whenever I could. Can't remember the exact dates. We probably had 10 to 12 sexual encounters. More details to come. The student makes allegations about why Tim Walz was actually fired from his job at that school. And Doc has corroborated in the official records that there's some fishy business about Tim Walz's voluntary leaving of the school, meaning there was like a DUI involved, and the school board voted unanimously 6-0 to kick Tim Walz out. And then just this morning, this alleged victim released a legal statement basically saying that they're going to also go after this whole thing with the full force of the law. They're going to go public. So far, they've just been leaking information to Doc on X. It's going to blow up way bigger than that. Doc just posted this from the accuser this morning. They include that this is one of the students that accompanied Tim Walz and others on his trip to China. When Tim Walz received his DUI, it was after an evening spent with this accuser. This whole paragraph is kind of interesting in its implications, if true. And then here are the special details about Tim Walz's body that you would only know if you had been intimate. And so if these details are true, then yeah. That includes a raised scar on his chest, a Chinese symbol tattoo on his upper thigh, a small scar on his left arm that was more like a soft burn. Yeah, anyways, this is just getting started. It's all breaking day by day by day right now on X, which is where actual news is happening today. If you're not already there, highly recommend you go there because everything else is just reporting about what's happening there. I'm not even allowed to post this video in most places because censorship. So like my TikTok audience, not even going to see this video. They're going to have no idea. But that's the state of play at this point in the election. And to be honest, when I look at him, it kind of fits the bill. I am not that surprised if this is true.
Thoughts, sir?
Good old Liberty Daily. I think Bill hit the nail on the head there. They're pretty much all compromised and blackmailed. That's the only way they got into office with this corrupt, crooked voting system we've had for decades. And that's exactly what's going to be coming out. Now, what I will say is this has been kind of bubbling in the background for a while now that this is going on. But I am going to say that here, let me share this page. The Q drops, the deltas for today. A lot of them are talking specifically about Hunter Biden and about how they were going over all the QAnon, the Quainons, and that, these things, these accusations about Hunter Biden were very real, but it was very different back then because they had the power and the ability to suppress all of this information. Whereas there is almost a free flow of information once you step out of the mainstream legacy media matrix that they have out there. And so now that this information is getting out there and it's getting pushed out everywhere and people are open to it, think about 4 years ago about how closed-minded everybody was versus now and how open-minded everybody is to all of the conspiracies that are out there. Now, granted, that does not mean that there aren't people who are still just in lockstep, goose-stepping with, the swamp narrative, but there's much, much fewer of them now than before. And what is it? Everybody's calling it, they're getting ratioed. They're getting ratioed all the time to the point where they feel like they can't even talk about, or trying to defend their position. And that's a new place for them to have to be, as opposed to just, the diarrhea of the mouth that they gave to all of us with, how we had to listen to them and nobody else. So Chachi says, most likely why Walz has been chosen for the VP Democrat spotlight, these allegations, along with the whole Minnesota riots and COVID stuff. And I think that that's perfectly stated because...
That word again.
What's that? Oh, the Rona? Yeah. I think that what he did with the Rona, what he did with the riots, those were the barrier to entry. You have to betray your state by doing these things before you're allowed to step up into the next level. And clearly Kamala Harris, she betrayed the people of California, but I mean, it's like shooting fish in a barrel. California, they have so much control. It means nothing when you screw the people over there because that's just the way it's supposed to go. But Minnesota, Walz definitely took it to the next level. And I think that to even be looked at, you have to have the compromising videos about you. then you get put in a place, then you have to prove yourself by being counter to what would be a good whatever it is you're supposed to be it a district attorney or attorney general or the governor or senator, whatever the case is. That's how you work your way up, just by mere observation on the outside about how these people have made it, on their way up to these various positions. Aaron says, vile P3DO, hooker in chief. It's so absurd. Makes Hunger Games look plausible. Yeah, but you'll remember that they were wearing the Hunger Games outfits, and that was exposure. That means that they literally are trying to put us in the Hunger Games, and they're not too far away.
Yep.
Wendy says, Chachi, along with his wife, to be exposed. LOL, watch the wives. Oh, yeah, watch the wives. Mike says, think about this. Can you pick two people worse for president and VP? Something don't add up. You are right. Something just doesn't add up here. And that's something that doesn't add up is this is the best that they could come up with.
Yeah.
It says that the more likely scenario is that you have to go through this stepped process to be part of the club.
Yeah.
Anyways, see, Turber says Walz put all the Rona patients in the nursing homes in Minnesota and unalived the elderly. Yeah, very much so. That was another thing as part of his Rona policies.
Yep.
Brother Bill says to Mike, we already had a Mike, Obama, and Biden.
And Mike responded.
And then Mike responded, Bill, as bad as they are not as bad as these.
Yep.
You
want to read that Rumble rant from Aaron? Thank you so much,
yeah,
Aaron.
I will.
You're amazing.
Yeah, thank you, Aaron, for that Rumble rant. I was just going to add on to that whole thing a little bit there. I think that the difference is that Obama's working these two puppets. Obama was smart enough to be the puppeteer, whereas Walz and Kamala, the Harry Balls ticket is very much just parrots. That's all they are. Aaron says, Quanon, a term coined by the MSM. It isn't real. The Q is the drops. Anons are the people randomly deciding to dig. Anonymous is a hacker ideology. The guy Fox masks, not even an organization.
Yep.
That's
why we make fun of them all the time, Aaron.
Yeah.
And Brother Bill says to Mike, when the damage that was done by Barry and Joe is made known, they'll be recognized as the worst.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
But we can't forget Woodrow Wilson gave us so many of our problems that made it possible for these ass clowns today.
Exactly. Speaking of shitty presidents, you ready?
Yeah.
Want to read that, please?
Former President Bill Clinton says Laken Riley would be alive if not for Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. Yeah, definitely not Bill.
Ready?
Yeah.
You had a case in Georgia not very long ago, didn't you? They made an ad about a young woman who'd been killed by an immigrant. Yeah, well, if they'd all been properly vetted, that probably wouldn't have happened.
Put it in Telegram.
Okay.
It didn't sound that bad earlier. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, hopefully y'all were able to hear that. But yeah, Slick Willie there, he was basically, isn't it amazing that they're all like telling the truth now? It's happening on the mainstream media. CNN is telling the truth. And Bill Clinton's talking the truth now. Supposedly Bill Clinton.
Yeah, it's not.
Jan says he looks terrible. He does look terrible.
I got one more video of him. I hope the sound didn't screw up.
I'm sure this. Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and put it in Telegram real quick.
Turber. Walking Dead vampire.
Yes. Yes.
He doesn't.
Turber.
Yeah. His skin is not as adrenochrome as it used to be.
Yeah. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly, Aaron. Exactly.
Yeah.
You want to read that?
Aaron says adrenochrome withdrawal causes that AIDS look and the dead voice box.
Mm-hmm. You ready?
Yes.
Want to read that, please?
Let's see. Bill Clinton proves the Democrats' replacement theory is completely real.
Ready?
Yeah. Are they?
But if they're all properly vetted, and that doesn't happen, and America is not having enough babies to keep our populations up, So we need immigrants that have been vetted to do work. There wouldn't be a problem. And he couldn't keep people all torn up and upset.
Those are both in the Telegram channel. Go ahead and listen to them. You'll be able to hear them better.
Yeah, it was difficult for us to hear on our end too.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So, let's see. Bill Clinton telling the truth yet again, and even more so that it's not Bill Clinton. It doesn't even look like the dude anymore.
No.
And he's been lost. Do you remember when they had the whole balloon dropping thing and, Bill was over there kind of lost in the sauce like Joe Biden has been? I mean, Bill Clinton was doing that a while ago. So if they're carting out Bill Clinton, that tells you even more how bad the numbers are tanking in terms of what they really believe is going on. Do we have anything about Kamala on JRE?
No.
No. Okay. So apparently rumor on the street is that the numbers are so bad. Speaking of terrible numbers, apparently the internal numbers are so bad that the Kamala campaign is actually talking to Joe Rogan to do 3 hours on the JRE.
That would be, oh my gosh.
If that happens, then beyond a shadow of a doubt that this is exposure, because that would be the absolute worst thing. And then the Twitter verse, everything that they're saying about that is just absolutely epic, just because he would pull up all the videos and confront Kamala with the Kamala.
I know. By the way, Bethany's here.
Bethany in.
She's busy over on Pilled right now, but she'll be here soon.
All right, awesome.
Jenny! Watch out for the frogs, Jenny.
Watch out for the frogs,
Jenny. Go back and watch the video on Ian Carroll. It's worth it.
Yeah.
Let's see. Aaron says she just wants free drugs because, Rogan will smoke some weed or do some shrooms with her. Oh, my goodness. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
We got Justin. Ready?
Nice. All right.
The word of God promises those who bless Israel will be blessed, and those who curse Israel will be cursed. Do not be moved by what you see between Iran and Israel. See, Iran does not fear the United States. It has no respect for the administration and leadership of the United States. But Iran does respect this candidate, and Iran does fear this president.
Thoughts?
Okay, so when Trump was leaving office before, I remember seeing some videos about some civil unrest in Iran.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm kind of wondering if Iran isn't kind of another white hat puppet at this point in time, a little bit in little ways. There she is. How you doing, Bethany Ann?
We're so glad you're
Thanks
here.
for joining us.
We actually tried to sweet talk Agent Smith for you.
Hopefully that worked.
Hopefully it worked.
Anyways, where were we?
Israel.
Yes, Israel.
Iran.
So yeah, Iran is definitely afraid of President Trump, regardless of what it looked like happened in 2017, 2018 timeframe. I know that Iran, however you want to say it. I know that they say it Iran over there. That the people of Iran definitely want to be free of this regime that they have. It's very oppressive, and the people have had a problem with it for a long time. And they know that President Trump will end up freeing that place. But we have to get rid of the grips of the swamp that's here in the United States first, because that's why they keep sending money over there to Iran, and they're going to do whatever they're paid to do at a certain point in time, just because they want the money and the resources to be able to do the things that any country is going to want to be able to do.
Yeah.
So yeah, of course they're not afraid of this administration.
No,
but
this administration's a joke.
No, but this administration is very friendly to Iran, because like we were talking about before, how Obama is really just the puppet master right now. They know who the deal is with, and so they're gonna, milk that, horse until it's dry, like Walz.
Are you ready?
Yes.
So Lightspear sent this one in.
Oh, nice.
You ready?
Yeah.
Obama needs to shut the fuck up. Talking about some black man, you all need to support this sister. I'm very, very disappointed. Motherfucker, we disappointed in you. You should be grateful that we let you exit peacefully after giving us that 8 fucking bullshit of years. What you need to be doing is focusing on laying the pipe down on Michelle and leave us the fuck alone. Richest president in history. Act like it. We have already told you we're not voting for that damn hoochie mama. Why are you begging us for? We don't want nothing to do with the Democratic Party. Did you not get the fucking memo? Y'all keep sending these damn celebrities to beg us, and our response is no. We don't even like you. You are the biggest disappointment in Black American history. This motherfucker did everything for the alphabet community and not a motherfucking thing for the Black community. But you want us to vote for your party. I'll tell you what, write a check for $20 million for every fucking American, then we might consider it. Damn, man, fucking begging us and shit like you Felicia. Come on, man, I'll suck your...
Thoughts?
People are fed up with it. They see it. They see through the lies.
I think he was a little upset.
Of course he was upset because they play like these people are stupid. Nobody's stupid. People can see what's going on. Fortunately, people are just recognizing that the spell that America was put under for the longest time during the Obama regime, people are waking up from that. And they realize that he's a traitor. And everything that he claims to be supportive of, he has been a traitor too.
Yep.
That's Obama through and through. But this is what's going on. People are seeing the fruits of the labor, which is what people haven't been seeing for the longest time. So the fact that people are seeing the fruits of the labor now really points to the fact that the American people are awakening and that they recognize that it's more important about what people do as opposed to what they say. It was, people were pointing out, how is Obama going to win the Nobel Peace Prize when he started more war than any other president? Mm-hmm. He dropped more bombs. He was part of the biggest problem. But yet they gave him the Nobel Peace Prize before he even got into office. I think I cracked a rib laughing at that. Well, be careful, Aaron.
Right?
Anyway. So.
Bethany Ann showing off.
Mm-hmm.
You ready?
Yeah.
This is great. Legendary actor Dennis Quaid gives epic speech at the Trump rally.
Nice.
Ready?
Uh-huh.
I'm going to ask you a question that Reagan asked America back then. And I think it's the question that got him elected. Are you better off than you were 4 years ago? 4 years ago, under President Trump, we had energy. We were an energy independent nation. We had cheap gas. We were actually exporting oil to our allies and our friends. Today, Putin is making money hand over fist, selling oil that he uses to pay for his Soviet-style comeback war that he has with Ukraine. And while we're shutting down our pipelines over here and capping our wells and begging Saudi Arabia and Venezuela to will you please sell us some oil? We're kind of short right now. Today, and what about inflation? What about it? When Trump, when he left office, inflation was under 2%. That's like nothing. It was free money almost. Today, all you got to do is go to the grocery store, go to the gas station, go to the department store. There's evidence enough right there that we know that fairy tale called Harris Bidenomics just doesn't work.
Thoughts?
So he's been speaking out for a little bit now in terms of pro-Trump. I know he had to keep his mouth shut for the longest time, but at the same time, he also wasn't in a whole lot of movies after a certain point.
Right.
And so now he finally gets the opportunity to speak out, and here he is, which is great to see. And so bringing up the Bidenomics, I mean, he's bringing up the points that it hurts all of us. The economy that we have is absolutely awful. And then to bring up the concept of, are you better off than you were 4 years ago? And how, like, who actually is doing better than they were 4 years ago? And I know that there's people that think they are. And I guess it's the ruling class and the people who are insulated from, the real world that so much of us have, because they have at least enough funds. But I have to believe at a certain point that even if you're making $200,000 a year, that you're still going to be feeling the pinch, because groceries are so expensive. The price of utilities has gone up so much. Like, everything has gone up so much. So who actually is doing better now than they were before?
Exactly.
Jenny says, I believe Q said something about celebrities breaking their contracts.
And he did just play Reagan in a movie.
Did he play? Okay. All right. Yeah, I wasn't.
Jenny brought that up.
All right. Nice. Oh, he just played Reagan. Okay. Dennis and Randy are cool. They're decent folks from Texas family. Yeah. Yeah. Well, and that's another thing. Texas has always been very pro-Constitution.
Yes.
And so especially some of the older Texans are definitely going to get that.
Yes.
And it's not just to say Texas is better than everywhere else, but I'm not getting into that conversation. But the thing is Texas really does breed proud Americans.
Really
most of the military comes from the Texas, Oklahoma area.
Exactly.
I mean, that's where a lot of the military comes from. That's where a lot of the veterans are.
Yep. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Can you read this, please?
Black Trump voters reminds Chlamydia Harris she was the one who did Dementia Joe's cognitive... hid Dementia Joe's cognitive decline. Thank you.
Ready?
I need to wear my glasses because my eyeball decline.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Look, I had to put the hat on for this one. Comrade Kamala then came out with her STD test, her health records or whatever, talking about, here's my paperwork, here's my labs. Y'all need to look at them. In fact, I challenged Donald Trump to release his. Ma'am, you was the one that hid Sleepy Joe's cognitive decline to the American public. We don't care nothing about your STD records or your health records or whatever. In fact, did you take a toxicology test? Because maybe it was you that was the one that left that white powder in the daggone White House, and maybe it wasn't Hunter Biden, because you must be on that powder if you think we care about this. We don't care. Lady, if we didn't care about the 34 felonies, I don't care about that man's high cholesterol. I really don't. And we got R.F. Kennedy Jr. and Nicole Shanahan to make America healthy again. So we'll be okay. Kick rocks. Beat it, lady.
Thoughts?
What do they have to talk about that's going to look good? I mean, okay, let's compare medical records. What?
I bet you.
What does that mean?
Bet you Trump doesn't have STDs. I bet you she does. I bet you they didn't test for that. Bitch.
It shows you what they have. They have nothing to talk about. Oh, well, Trump's older. Well, no shit.
Yeah.
Guess we didn't see that one.
With him?
Yeah. Could you keep up with him? I know mentally she couldn't. Can we have an IQ test, please?
Right.
Did they do that?
Hi, Texas Liberty.
Hey, Texas Liberty. They say, I live in Plano, and we're swimming with liberals. So many people are living here, and many are leftist.
That's where we grew up.
Yeah, that's one of the areas in Texas that, I spent some time in. It's just, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that makes me sad.
It makes me sad, too, because Plano was never like that.
Never.
And then there was that thing that we heard about McKinney recently. We played that, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
Yeah. Well, what happened?
We lived there, too.
It was like the mayor or something was pressing some alphabet soup thing.
Yes.
In McKinney, Texas, of all places.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, that's right, Bill. Plano figures because of proximity to Dallas. Dallas is such a big city anymore.
Yeah.
And so many people move there. The character of those towns has changed considerably over the decades.
And it's sad.
It is, but there's still lots of
Because
good
it's
people
not
out
home
there.
anymore.
Well, it's not. Yeah, we haven't lived there in a while, so
Yeah.
it changed, and so did we.
Yeah. You ready?
Yeah.
Let's listen.
Okay.
When you come to God, he doesn't care about your crown. See, when you come to God, you got to put your crown down. Well, Pastor Mike, you don't even know. Like, I got 3,000 Instagram followers. God don't care nothing about that. He doesn't care that you're the jock on the basketball team. He doesn't care that your parents are rich. He doesn't care what he said. When you come to me, you put your crown down. You're going to have to humble yourself. And when you humble yourself, then you come to God in a spirit like, God, I don't care about all of that other stuff. This doesn't matter. God, thank you for using me. But without all of that, you've been good. And I want to come to you, and I want to connect to you. And it says you humble yourselves and pray. And then it says, and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways. That means you're going to have to do a couple things. You're going to have to humble yourself. Then you're going to have to seek. Now, I didn't say look. I said seek. If you lost your keys, you wouldn't just go, yeah, I don't know where my keys are. You would start moving things, turning stuff over. Stay until you found them. God's saying, I want you to have a passion after me that is not like I prayed, nothing happened. Y'all know how we do. Like pray about that. I just did, nothing happened. No, you gotta seek. Everybody say seek.
Thoughts, sir?
Seeking. Boy, that was really good. I appreciate that. The seeking. It's
I prayed, nothing happened.
I prayed, nothing happened.
It doesn't work
No,
like
we really
that.
gotta look. We gotta look hard. We gotta look deep. Just as much as, do we put the same energy into God that we put into researching all the conspiracy theories? What is it that you put the most amount of your time into? See, that seeking can be done in many ways, but we do need to seek. That's the part that's on us. Seek and ye will find, but you got to do the seeking first. I mean, it's kind of how it works. But at the same time, that's part of the journey that we talk about. It's not the destination, it's the journey. And so that part of the journey, I mean, you're looking like, if you really want it, you will find it. Mm-hmm. And that's what it boils down to, is how bad do you really want it? And that's a good question that we should all ask ourselves. How bad am I really seeking my relationship with my creator?
Exactly.
And that's a great question we should always be asking over and over again. Mm-hmm. Check and make sure that we, at least feel like we're headed in the right direction.
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
God is more than the Bible. Yes, exactly, Aaron. God is more than the Bible, but that's his word. That's how he's talking to us. So I'm going to read that. And then what I learn off of that, I take the observations, the signs or whatever, if you want to use that terminology, and applying those things that you hear to your life, then I think that's like part of where it's at. It's only half in the book.
Exactly. So, you ready?
Yes.
Can you read that, please?
Yeah. Okay. New Trump ad highlights radical leftist black show hosts annoyed by Kamala's they-them adoration. Oh, God, they-them.
You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Kamala supports taxpayer-funded sex changes for prisoners.
Surgery.
For prisoners.
For prisoners. Every transgender inmate in the prison system would have access.
Hell no, I don't want my taxpayer dollars going to that.
Kamala supports transgender sex changes in jail with our money.
Kamala even supports letting biological men compete against our girls in their sports. Kamala is for they, them. President Trump is for you.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
Thoughts?
Please let that Joe Rogan interview happen.
I know. I know.
I have no idea why that would be important to the American people at this point in time, is doing a surgery an elective surgery for people that are incarcerated at this point in time.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to see the science, how one is directly connected to another. Like that needs to be put out in plain English so that way the rest of us can understand. Because I know that I don't have all of the, fancy letters behind my name because I went to a lot of schools. I don't have that. So you're going to have to make that make sense to me as to why that's more important than dealing with the homeless crisis.
Right.
Or maybe, why is that more important than sending money to, I don't know, places where there may have been a natural disaster recently? Like, these are your priorities. So that's your priority. You think that doing gender affirming care, as you like to call it, you want to do that gender affirming care, and that's more important than taking care of anything else? There's nothing else on this planet that has a higher, level of importance. I find that to be ridiculous.
Very.
Because that's not going to change the world. That's even if you turn everybody in prison into a eunuch, that's not going to fix their problems.
Mm-hmm.
That's not the issue.
Exactly.
Because otherwise they would have been doing that since ancient Rome and it wouldn't have stopped. So that means that your theory doesn't even really look like it makes sense. So yeah, why don't people see that these are the ridiculous thought processes? Like, how do people not get this?
Because
I really am at a
because
loss.
they're programmed by the television.
I guess so. That's the best I can come up with.
Yeah. You ready?
Yeah.
You ready for sassy?
Yeah.
Okay.
On today's episode of What in the French Fried Fuck, Kiki goes to church. I'm gonna let you watch this, and then I'm gonna say some things.
To question our faith, to sometimes lose our faith for a moment, because what we see is so hard to see that we lose faith or a vision of those things we cannot see but must know.
No, there's some sinners in that church. Because whoever in the hell acted like they knew what the hell she was saying. Yeah, lying like hell. That TV dude. I understand the words coming out her mouth, man. Let me say this. I see now why Left waited so long or kicking Joe to the curb last minute. They knew what a fuck up Kamala was. They knew the least amount of time they let her speak, inevitably the less that she was going to fuck up. Now let me get this straight. You've already pissed off the Hispanic voting for Trump and pissed off the more melanated folk. You pissed off the Georgia folk. You pissed off the North Carolina folk. You all have lost almost all the swing states. Every time that you go out to speak, you just keep fucking up more and more. What point does your PR team pull the rein? Well, enough's enough. Need to do worse than like Nikki Haley in the poll. Cut off, asking for a friend. Yeah. At this point, that best friend and your second mommy had him go vote for you. Stop. Just stop. Fucking so bad, I almost feel bad for you. Now, you know what? The fuck I don't. Fuck you.
Thoughts?
Okay, I was trying to look up, never interfere with an enemy while he's in the process of destroying himself.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to see a lot of Kamala. And she does so good at destroying herself and their cause every single day. Yeah, please let her keep talking. Yeah, let her go on Joe Rogan. That'll be amazing.
I know. Mm-hmm.
And he's right. They have pissed off. Them have pissed off everybody since Kamala. Just since Kamala started running, since she was installed over Joe Biden for this thing, it's gotten exponentially worse.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron says, when Kamala speaks, I can feel brain cells begging for death so as not to have to acknowledge her perversion of words. They just start running against the side of my skull full speed over and over.
Mm-hmm.
We can't take it anymore.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wait.
What's that? Kamala's been Kamalaing super hard recently. She has Chachi.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was probably one of her best word salads. Like, that's a disgrace to word salads to call that a word salad.
And the church was like, yeah. Yeah, you just send in church because you don't know what she said.
Wendy says, Aaron, I'm waiting for her to use the word spunt. Try to get some of that street cred back.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron says, I drink to forget I heard them and put those particular brain cells out of their misery. It's humane. Exactly, Mike. The art of war. Yeah, let Kamala be Kamala because really she's doing such a great job. Just use her for the commercials for President
And he
Trump.
is.
I know.
It's awesome.
How great is that?
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Please read this.
All right. Sheriff who unalived judge tried to call daughter from the judge's phone.
You ready?
Yeah.
It's been nearly a month since a judge was killed in his chambers by the local sheriff who's been charged with murder. But what was the motive? Did it have something to do with the sheriff finding his 17-year-old daughter's number on the judge's phone? Amber Cogliano spoke with the sheriff's legal team.
We're getting new insight today into the mysterious fatal shooting of a judge by his buddy, the sheriff.
This was something that occurred in the heat of passion or under extreme emotional disturbance.
Ann Mercogliano spoke exclusively to the sheriff's husband and wife defense team, Jeremy and Carrie Bartley.
There are claims out there that the judge was having an inappropriate relationship with the sheriff's daughter.
There's a lot of wild speculation at this point. There's nothing we've seen that would substantiate that claim.
Investigators say moments before Kentucky Sheriff Sean Mickey Steins fired on Judge Kevin Mullins, the sheriff tried to call his 17-year-old daughter from the judge's phone.
Why would the judge have the sheriff's daughter's phone number in his phone?
Mr. Steins attempted to call his daughter from the judge's phone. And so whether the phone number was saved in, whether it was in there previously, we don't know. And we won't know until we have those phone records.
Why was he trying to call his daughter in those crucial moments?
That's something that we're still investigating.
Has he told you?
We can't comment on anything we discussed with our client.
In this just released footage, you can see the judge trying to reason with the sheriff right up to the moment he opened fire. After the shooting, the sheriff told police, "They're trying to kidnap my wife and kid."
He had a sincere belief that his wife and daughter were in danger. The emotions rose to such a level at that point that he was unable to control his actions.
Video from a few years back shows the sheriff and his daughter goofing around, lip syncing to, of all things, "I Shot the Sheriff." She recently turned 17 and the sheriff gushed, "You will never know how much I love you." The shooting is now tearing apart the small town of Whitesburg, Kentucky. The judge's wife launched this Facebook page, Justice for Kevin, with supporters offering prayers that justice will prevail. But others are posting, "There's a lot more to this story. I stand by Sheriff Steins."
The sheriff's defense team is asking that the charges against their client be reduced to manslaughter.
Thoughts, sir?
Mike says, then it was justified. And yeah, seems like it. I believe that had that sheriff not done that, I'm pretty sure that that sheriff completely understood what he was doing. But obviously his emotions did a little bit more leading, but I don't think that the word and people's knowledge of this would have gotten out had he not done that. And then what was most likely to happen if the sheriff didn't take those kinds of drastic actions? Then people may not have actually ever looked at it. And so now that which has been done in the dark is going to be brought to the light. And that would explain why they're already talking about trying to reduce it to manslaughter. They're trying to make deals. They're trying to make deals because it seems like they know that there's a lot more hidden in the shadows that they don't want out. And they may not have the stomach to follow through with it.
Yep.
Aaron says, saw this when it came out. Temporary insanity charges should be dropped. Jury nullification, jury nullification, jury nullification. Judge may have had ties to sex trafficking. Yeah, especially now that they're talking about he was in fear that his wife and his daughter were going to be kidnapped. And then he goes out to deal with this. Seems like a very real world human trafficking ring that was going to try to, I guess, put the sheriff under their control. Because he doesn't seem like he's kind of the kind of guy to accept something like that. Jan says he knew what they were all involved in. And then how does a sheriff by himself deal with something like that? That would be, judge was looking the other way. The judge was involved in the corruption.
Yeah.
The judge looked like Gomer Pyle.
Yeah.
No one has more power than the sheriff. That's correct. But if you are the Lone Ranger, I think that it would be difficult to try to deal with something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know if the sheriff. See, here's the thing that I'm kind of
Supposedly,
wondering.
he found text messages on his daughter's phone because they had the exact same phone, and he accidentally picked hers up.
Yeah, I
and
remember
took
that.
it to work.
Right. And then he saw what was going on. So he had to find out. See, I'm wondering if, I don't know, there's a lot. This is going to be an interesting one as it comes out, as time goes on, because there is just a little, too much there that points directly to a much larger ring that was going on in the background that's probably going to lead to a lot of other things.
Yep.
And a lot bigger things. And all of this stuff is coming into play. We're going to be hearing about the Diddy stuff along with, what's a fake country singer dude? Nashville. Garth Brooks. Garth Brooks. And then Jay-Z out there in New York. Then stuff like this. It's all gonna like a avalanche. It's just gonna Bill says, because he flat out executed him, and there ain't no way they can spin it into manslaughter unless they want to sweep the judge's crimes under the rug. That's exactly what it's getting at there, Bill, is it was an execution. There is no manslaughter about that. That was just straight up. He
was pissed.
A dad dealing with somebody who was going after his baby girl.
Yep.
Let's see. Aaron says temporary insanity. Is it temporary insanity?
I don't know.
Or was it temporary extreme sanity?
Exactly. Mike says then it was justified. Jan says big ring.
Big ring. I believe that, Jan. I believe that was a giant ring, and it's going to lead to it. It's going to connect a lot of dots from the big stars down to some of the more mid-level players is what I feel like this is going to end up leading to. Aaron's talking about the jury nullification. Yeah, jury nullification. It's you took it down.
Oh,
yeah. Jury nullification, look it up. People have been arrested for carrying signs on public streets outside of a courthouse before. You are correct. They don't want people to know about jury nullification. If you don't know about nullification, based off of my understanding, if a jury, they can just say not guilty.
Yeah.
If they think that the law is wrong. But there are states that do have laws against jury nullification specifically, which is a right that I think that we need to get back, because that's the kind of thing that will prevent these kinds of shenanigans from being able to take root in the future. If we see that a law is wrong and corrupt, then we shouldn't have to say that somebody is guilty of a crime when it really shouldn't have been a crime.
Exactly. It's in Kentucky, Esto.
Hey, Esto.
It's
in Kentucky.
And I agree, Chachi. It's not insane to want to protect your family.
I think that there's plenty of justification.
Thank you, Wendy. Please hit that thumbs up and make it a habit to leave a comment after the show. Really helps us in the algorithm.
Truly appreciated, Wendy.
Yeah. You ready?
Yep.
Exactly, Brother Bill. One more. I apologize. If he was protecting his baby girl, it was taking care of business, and he should get a medal and a reward.
I mean, by the time the dust settles, that might happen. Or if it's being applied incorrectly. As far going back, that was Aaron going back to the jury nullification thing. Yeah, you know what? If y'all haven't gone down that, I don't even know if it's a rabbit hole, but yeah, definitely go down that one.
Check it out.
Because they don't want that information out.
No.
Yeah, they get butthurt.
Yeah, you ready? Can you read that, please?
Former Trump chief of staff Reince Priebus gives ABC News heartburn with a reality check.
You ready?
Yeah.
I mean, the reality is that for the first time in 32 years in this poll, it shows that Republicans are beating Democrats straight up. When you ask people a generic ballot in 32 years, it shows that Donald Trump's doing better with black voters, Hispanic voters, off the charts. But what the most important thing is, what happened last week is that what was working with female voters with Kamala Harris was that there was some feeling of joy in the air. Well, that joy is gone. She had a terrible week. She picked a pointless fight with Ron DeSantis. She was losing in the Sun Belt, and she tried to recover by going on The View, which a lot of women watch. She went on The View. You talked about it earlier. And she wanted to clarify the two most important issues that are facing these two candidates, the economy and immigration. And she bombed like Rory at the US Open. And she went out there and said there was nothing she would do that would be different than Joe Biden. And she created a campaign commercial for Donald Trump. And so she's trying to recover. There is no joy here. And everybody knows it. And it's obvious that there is a leak in the balloon here in the Kamala Harris campaign.
Thoughts?
So they're screwing up day by day. This kind of, I guess, is kind of the theme today, is that they keep messing up and they get a worse and worse picture of their future every single day. But I mean, really, in the end, is it that big of a surprise? As more and more people have woken up, which is kind of one of the things that was another delta for today. Without you, collectively, there would have been no way to bypass their control. And that means that each and every one of you, talking to people about the truth, getting everybody to wake up to see the reality of what's going on around us, we wouldn't have been able to have people recognize that Kamala is the worst thing for the nation, that her poll numbers would never have dropped the way they were if it wasn't for the effort of each and every American out there who's been trying to tell the truth. And more people are seeing that truth. And they're just, it is a natural conclusion with the way things have been done. And this is the climax of really, well, I guess Obama was their climax, and this is just on the way down as their power subsides, as their ability to keep people with the wool over their eye diminishes. They are going to look more and more ridiculous, and like, you know, any animal that's stuck, they're going to act wild and crazy. A cornered animal is going to act wild. And this is what we're starting to see. But the problem is when you act wild like that, you start making really dumb decisions. And the more dumb decisions you make, because you keep trying to wrestle out of the problem that you're in, that you have no idea how to get out of, only gets you further stuck. It's like wiggling around in quicksand, and they're only sinking more and more every single day. Wendy says, you get what you vote for, what you pay for. Boy, ain't that the truth.
You ready? Go ahead and read that, please.
Democrat Georgia sheriff calls for backup over wrong Burger King order. Is this freaking real life?
Yes. You ready?
Okay.
Ask Mike, I'm gonna order her a Whopper, no mayo cut in half.
Tonight, newly released body camera video stirring up controversy in an Atlanta suburb. Cobb County deputies seen here rushing to the scene of a Burger King with sirens blaring.
Move!
Not for a crime or physical altercation.
We ordered something, food was wrong.
But to assist Cobb County Sheriff Craig Owens with his food order complaint.
Okay, sir. I don't need no damn money back no more. I just need to find out who owns this place so I can do official complaint to complain.
The incident happened a year and a half ago, according to the timestamp, but an edited video of the complaint recently emerged in a campaign ad from Owens' opponent in the sheriff's race, Republican David Cavender.
I don't think you should have your own deputies running lights and sirens down the streets of Cobb County because your order was wrong. As a senior law enforcement official in the county, I believe that should be something you should be able to use some social interaction skills with and be able to navigate that incident without the assistance of deputies.
NBC News obtained the original body camera videos from two deputies' perspectives.
You didn't tell her who I was?
No, I just told him it was the guy out in the truck.
Owens now defending his actions, writing, "At no point did I indicate my position, nor did I ask the responders to do anything that they would not, had not, or have not done for anyone else who makes a business dispute call," which he says any citizen can make. Adding that, "I regret that this call is being politicized in an attempt to win votes." Carmen Best is a former police chief in Seattle.
Any person does have the right to make the call, but he's not any person. He is the sheriff, and these people work for him who are responding. So it does make it a bit of a different circumstance.
Owens, a Democrat, unseated longtime Sheriff Neil Warren, a Republican, in 2020, becoming the county's first Black sheriff, running on jail reform and his experience in the Army Reserves.
So help me God. So help me God.
Now, the groundbreaking sheriff facing a grilling just as early voting is set to get underway.
This is still a solidly Democratic county, and most people vote for the incumbents in these down ticket races, unless they have a real reason not to. But this makes the Republicans' chances a little bit smoother.
And Emily Ikeda joins us now in studio. So, Emily, is this a situation where constituents, voters are speaking out? Could there be political ramifications here for the sheriff?
Well, we are hearing some concerns raised by voters. There's a lot of questions around, was this an abuse of power? Why did it take so long for this video to surface? Was it a misuse of resources? And if we zoom out, you think about Cobb County, Georgia, this battleground state. Vice President Kamala Harris really needs to win Cobb County in order to win the state, as Democrats have done so in the past 2 presidential elections. So it's really key and important here. And it seems not super likely that the sheriff's race will impact the top of the ticket, but former President Trump of all places, he will be holding a rally in Cobb County tomorrow. So we'll see if he tries to use this as leverage, if he leans into this. But again, it is giving voters some kind of pause because of how viral the video has gone. I should also note that David Cavender, the political opponent, he says he has learned that the sheriff has since started to receive some threats in light of the video, and he wants to wholeheartedly condemn them. So it's starting to turn ugly.
Emily Ikeda, thank you.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top
thoughts. Meanwhile, there's people that are getting their house broken into and they don't have the resources to respond.
But his whopper was wrong.
But his whopper was wrong. It's a whopper of a problem for him now, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. And I agree, Wendy. I wonder why too. Very interesting.
This is not a good look for so many places, but at the same time, it needs to be focused where the problem is, because I know people have called and they get mocked.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they shorted me on chicken nuggets. How many times have we heard those news stories over the past couple of years?
I only got half an order of fries.
Yeah, they didn't give me enough fries. You know, they're not going to send police officers out there for that.
With lights and sirens, give me a break.
Running code. Because even if do they have nothing else going on over there that they can't, there's nothing else to respond to? We got to run code 3 straight to the Burger King because the sheriff didn't get his burger his way right away now? Come on, get out of here with that shit. Jenny says, well, that just shows his character. Yeah. He is quite a character. Yeah. Man just wanted his
burger cut in half.
I just wanted my burger cut in half. Yes.
You ready?
Yes.
Can you read that, please?
I can try. Hold on. There we go. Sonny Hostin from The View definitely doesn't want to hear what this guy has to say. Yes.
We've got to reach those ridiculous, crazy black men that did vote for Trump.
So let me get this straight. If I vote for a party that can't define what a woman is, I'm no longer ridiculous or crazy. If I vote for a party that wants boys in my daughter's sports and restrooms, I'm no longer ridiculous or crazy. If I vote for a party that thinks they can pander to me using kente cloths and hot sauce, I'm no longer crazy. If I vote for a party that has done nothing but destroy my community for the last 60 years and open the borders in order to replace my vote and destroy my community further, I'm no longer crazy. If I vote for the party that wanted to keep me from voting, wanted to keep Jim Crow, wanted to keep slavery, the party of the Klan, I'm no longer crazy. And I'm no longer crazy or ridiculous if I vote for the candidate who's been in the office as vice president for the last 3.5 years and admitted to having a large part in pushing the harmful policies that have hurt my country, who can't answer basic questions and is quite possibly the worst candidate in American history, says she's going to bring change while at the same time admitting there's nothing she'd change about the last 3.5 years and made us the laughing stock of the world. And you think I'm the crazy one. I think it's crazy you think I should vote for a candidate based on skin color rather than how their policies will affect my life. It's pretty sick.
Thoughts?
So the gaslighting that she did right there, right off the bat, just to basically accuse the black community that votes for Trump as if they're doing something wrong. Well, okay, based off of what? And then who are you to be the judge, jury, and executioner of what black men or women should be doing anyway? Doesn't matter if you are highly melanated yourself. I don't think that that means a bit of difference, because the point is that party, like this man was talking about, has been the party to do everything terrible to the black people in this country. Like they are the party of the KKK. And they have been. After all, what Hillary Clinton, what'd she say about Byrd? That basically, well, that was like her greatest mentor, basically, and he was a big member of the KKK. He was running that crap, as if they've changed. I mean, Hillary Clinton's still around. The View are witches, Turber. They really are.
They really are. Ugh, it's disgusting.
Wicked witches of what, Hollywood, I guess.
Yeah. How about some Kelly instead?
Yeah, we could use some Kelly.
Have you guys seen this yet? Mark Zuckerberg and several other billionaires are building doomsday bunkers. I know, right? Now, I'll be honest with you, I hadn't seen this. And somebody sent me an email today with this article in it. And they were genuinely worried that maybe something bad was going on. And they were like, Kelly, should we be afraid? Do the elite know something that we don't know? And if you're thinking that as well, the truth is we know something they don't know. You see, as soon as I saw this article, there was one scripture that just jumped right into my brain. Isaiah 2, verse 19. When the Lord rises to shake the earth, his enemies will crawl into holes in the ground. They will hide in caves in the rocks from the terror of the Lord and the glory of his majesty. You see, the only people that got a reason to hide are people who fear what can happen to them in this world. But for those of us with a healthy fear of the Lord, you can't scare me with this, man. This was the plan all along. And Jesus already overcame the world. So what do you have to worry about? Don't live in fear if they know something that you don't know. Is it any surprise that the world is a dark place and getting darker by the minute? Not at all. You and me, we are the light of the world. And where does light do the best job? In the darkness. You see, for those of us who know Jesus, the end of the world is not a scary thing. In fact, it's a joy. When we leave this broken earth, we are spending eternity in the presence of the Father. Don't live in fear of what the worldly, ungodly people are doing. It's nothing more than a sign of the times that we're living in. I mean, I just showed you God knew this was going to happen. And if it didn't take him by surprise, why should it you? So let me encourage you today. Don't live in fear of the events taking place in our world. Your Heavenly Father knew this was going to happen, and he's been preparing you all along. I mean, it's hard to be afraid of the dark when you're the light. So go out and shine bright today. When the Lord comes to shake the earth, his enemies will climb into a hole in the ground. But me and you, we'll be standing tall, anxiously waiting for his return. And hey, Zuckerberg, there's still time for you. And think about that for a minute.
Thoughts?
So, I think that's something that everybody seems to be doing pretty good with, based off of the more aware you are of all the things that are going on, and you get that clarity as you see what's going on, that this really is a fight between good and evil. I think that it is a little bit easier to dive into the Bible and what it talks about, and about how we should not fear. These are the things that are, I guess, a part of the process of waking up is you recognize the gravity of everything that's going on, that whatever you can do towards the end of waking up humanity to the darkness that's trying to take over around the world, I think that you recognize that we can't live in fear, that we can't be afraid of the things that are going on around us. It is, as a matter of fact, that fear should drive us to try to wake more people up and shine our own individual lights a little bit brighter, so that way other people's light can shine as well, because the only way to get rid of the darkness is to bring in that light. Yeah, to be that light.
Gotta be that light. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
So Miss Jenny, this is her video she sent to me. I'm gonna play it now.
All right.
You ready?
Yep.
Karl Marx, you know what he said? He said, "Our Father who art in heaven, stay there." He challenged God, this lost soul atheist, evil Satan worshiper. He said, "Our Father who art in heaven, stay there. You are God in heaven and I am God on earth." This is the Tower of Babylon. I am God on earth. I'll do whatever I want, however I want, whenever I want, with whom I want. Isn't it the case of the 21st century, my beloveds? Isn't it? So what happened? But the Lord, these people have been deceived by Satan. They think they can do whatever they want. Those so-called elites, the secret societies that are trying to control the world. You have been deceived. You have been blinded by Lucifer, your God, your false God, Satan, whom you worship. But your God, remember, is under the foot of my God, Jesus Christ of Nazareth. All glory to his holy name.
Thoughts, sir?
I love the bishop. He's so awesome, too. Karl Marx is an interesting topic, and it makes my mind go into a million different directions because he was such an atheistic ass, and he was brilliant all at the same time, and he understood and saw the problems, and he had a way in which to communicate to convince a whole bunch of people to follow his idiotic ideology.
Yeah.
But the thing is there's some good principles behind it that are a thorn in the side of those who should be doing the right thing, yet they use their power and influence to work for themselves. And that's one of the major flaws of Marxism in general is it's very prone to corruption in so many ways. But he did point out things that need to change. And so we're stuck with this problem. But he also is bringing light to the stratification of classes. And there was a destratification when the creation of this country came about of the different classes of people because we all became citizens. Some had more money than others, but in the end, we were all citizens. Therefore, we were equal as long as you were a citizen.
Mm-hmm.
Then we had to go through some growing pains and get rid of the slavery problem that we had here.
Mm-hmm.
And so then we had a re-stratification of the various financial social classes.
Yep.
But I have a feeling that as we turn to God, we recognize that these different classes of people with high class, like Bill Gates and all of them with, all of their brilliance that they love to tell us about and that we just need to sit back and follow. They're the very bourgeoisie that they railed against when they were in college. They just became corrupt and decided to be the bourgeoisie.
Yep.
And they're going down now. They knew it was wrong all along.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're going to have to eat all of those words.
Yeah.
The thing is we are waking up, and we're waking up to a much more healthy version of what this country should have been. And there's been a lot of growing pains. It's been a difficult 200 and some odd years that this nation has been around. But my God, this nation has grown. And it has forced the world to change in so many ways. And we lost our way for a little while, but we're finding it again. And I think that that's the best part, because the victory, once all of this is said and done, is going to be the most glorious thing. And I pray that it will last for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And that we can keep these ideologies that are utilized by those of a more ill-designing nature, where they want to do things for themselves. Those people are going to find themselves out there all alone without anything.
Exactly.
I look forward to that.
I know.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Can you read this, please?
Megyn Kelly, Alex Jones was right about chemicals turning frogs gay.
You ready?
Yes.
Can I tell you, this is crazy, but a few years ago, I interviewed Alex Jones, and I sat down with him, and he's, as we know, he's definitely done some not great things, especially when it comes to Newtown. However, one of the things he was telling me was about fluoride and about early puberty and about the frogs when exposed that went from male to female.
Mm-hmm.
I went back to NBC. We had all these fact checkers. It was all true. We found out all this stuff he was saying was true. And here I am across from you, Harvard educated, Johns Hopkins attending physician, saying, yeah, fluoride, just like Alex Jones was saying, not good. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But they'll shove it in your kid's mouth just on a general cleaning. They want to saturate your kid in fluoride, like rinses or gels, just for kicks.
Thoughts, sir?
So that's interesting. Now doctors can talk about fluoride without fear of losing their license.
Mm-hmm.
What does that tell you about how much things have changed? What does it tell you that Megyn Kelly's talking about the chemicals are turning the freaking frogs gay?
Interesting, isn't it?
Interesting times that we live in, isn't it?
Interesting times.
Interesting times that as we're getting ready for RFK Jr. to make America healthy again as part of the Team Trump, that, yeah, fluoride is bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I
Isn't
know.
that amazing?
I know, Aaron. There's a lot. And she did mention
No, it's
other
not. No,
ones.
it's not the gay frog chemical. No, it's not. But what she was saying is that a lot of the stuff that Alex Jones talked about was real.
Mm-hmm.
We're just not ready to talk about the crisis actors in every scenario at this point in time.
Yeah.
Plus, I think that that's one of those things that keeps Alex Jones kind of wrangled a little bit.
Yeah.
Jenny says the doctors always ask if you've got fluoride in your water.
Yeah.
They don't have to worry about that here in Nevada. We got all the chemicals in the water.
Calcified pineal gland, Wendy. Yep.
Yeah.
F. Clint said, didn't the Fed stop removal of fluoride in the water by the EPA this week?
I have not heard anything about that.
I
F.
haven't
Clint. I will
heard,
have
and
to check that out. I would
'cause
love to hear that.
I read so much news.
Yeah, but I also don't trust what they put in the water anyway.
Yes. And I agree, Wendy. Fluoride could be a part of the cocktail that makes them gay.
Oh, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure.
Yep. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Can you read that, please, sir?
Trump drops videos showing the difference between his military and Comrade Kamala's woke military.
You ready?
No.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not. I gotta go. I'm over it.
No. Oh, come on, sir. All right, let's go.
You little scumbag! I got your name! I got your ass! You will not laugh! You will not cry! You will learn by the numbers!
Happy Pride. Happy Pride Month. And actually, let's declare it a summer of pride.
So you're a killer? Sir, yes, sir! Let me see your war face! Sir, you got a war face? Ah! That's a war face! Now let me see your war face! Ah! Bullshit! You didn't convince me! Let me see your real war face! Ah!
I hear it and I know, I know you wanna take.
You will be a weapon. You will be a minister of death, praying for war. But until that day, you are pukes. You are the lowest form of life on earth. You are not even human fucking beings. You are nothing but unorganized, grabastic pieces of amphibian shit.
How to abracadabra, these bitches know I got answers the way I.
It looks to me like the best part of you ran down the crack of your mama's ass and ended up as a brown stain on the mattress. I love working for Uncle Sam. I love working for Uncle Sam. Let me know just who I am. Let me know just who I am. 1, 2, 3, 4, United States Marine Corps. 1, 2, 3, 4, United States Marine Corps.
You know that song, don't you?
I've heard it once or twice.
Once or twice?
Once or twice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
Ho Chi Minh is a son of a bitch. He's got the blue ball crabs and a 7-year itch.
I knew you'd have something. I knew you had something.
Anyway.
I just can't with you today.
I am incapable of giving a thoughtful response on the whole state of where the military's gone. And I'm going to say that because, well, I've been saying things for so long and nobody's ever listened. That's why we got to where we're at now. I've seen gay people in the military. As long as they cared about their job and they followed good military order and discipline, what they did with penises after work made absolutely no difference to me whatsoever.
Okay, T just about went through my
Well,
nose.
that's your fault. You knew something was going to be said. Anyways, so if people love the country, they're going to love the country. And if they love the country, they're not going to want to have special treatment and be able to wear different uniforms because they're special little snowflakes. Because the thing is if you're going into the military, what you should really be concerned about is the fact that you could find yourself in a scenario, possibly, all right, they might not talk about this in the recruiting videos very much. People might want to shoot back at you. Or people might want to shoot at you, and you have to sit there and wait for them to shoot at you before you can do anything about it. And so it really shouldn't make any bit of difference as to what your sexual preferences or orientations or what you identify as really matter at that point in time. When bullets are flying, nobody's going to ask, are you trans?
They don't care.
They don't care. As a matter of fact, if they find out that you are trans in a lot of places around the world and they get a hold of you, it'll be a lot worse.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not something that should be of any concern unless it is while in uniform.
Exactly.
And when they allowed gay marriage, I had no problem with gay marriage in the military. Doesn't bother me. But the first thing that happened is that they were in uniform, they were sucking face, they were, carrying each other and all of these things that if I was to do that in uniform, I would have gotten in trouble for that. You're not supposed to sit there and suck face. It's not something that is a good representation of what the uniform is while you're in uniform. You want to do weird shit outside of uniform? That's on you.
Yeah.
Keep it to your damn self.
Yeah.
But it's become this advertisement, and now people get moved to the top because they are of a certain persuasion, and that doesn't help anything out when it comes to the time when the bullets are flying.
Exactly.
We're doing a disservice to people, and Lord knows I could go on this forever and a day. And one point that I want to make is that if you have an allergy to bees, you cannot go in the military. You are permanently disqualified if you are allergic to a bee sting. The reason for that is they have to carry around an extra medication for you and only you because you have a bee allergy, basically an EpiPen.
Yep.
And then they have to deal with the post care after an anaphylactic shock.
Mm-hmm. Which is not fun.
Yet, if you are trans, you have an open wound at this point in time. And you have to have a litany of all sorts of medications to keep your body from attacking this new part that never was supposed to be there. And you have this entire medical requirement now that is above and beyond any other human being. I would say probably more costly to the American taxpayer than carrying around an EpiPen and the aftercare for somebody that has a bee sting.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the way it should be. And it shows that how the diseased, corrupt system is just so bad.
It is.
And these same people are the people itching for a fight with Israel, Iran, basically trying to start World War III with Russia and China and everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
It would not be a good day.
No.
And even if we had the military that was back in the 80s, 90s.
Yeah.
It would be tough even then.
Yep.
And now I don't know how we would fare if we would fare well at all. Yes, I saw that. Aaron says, why can't people keep their bedroom shit inside their bedroom? Outside, behave like a good person and kick ass if you need to. Gays were around forever, but they didn't advertise that shit because it was never a way to get, moved up in the world, which is what has become.
Yeah.
Cross-directional shooting range. Yes. It's like teaching my wife how to shoot dangerous stuff. Kay's a really good shot.
Yes.
She's a really good shot. It's kind of scary.
You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Can you read that, please?
Dementia Joe says he knows how hurricane victims feel because lightning struck his home once. Or once struck his home.
You ready?
Sure.
And I know from experience how devastating it is to lose your home. Several years ago, my home was struck by lightning. didn't all burn down, but we're out of the home for 7 months while it was being repaired. The thing I was most concerned about was not just the home, was all those things, all those pictures I saved my daughter had drawn when she was little, all the family photographs, all the albums, all the things that really matter.
Boss.
He was out of his home for 7 months.
Mm-hmm.
Where did he stay for those 7 months?
Oh.
Was he in a FEMA camp? Was he in a tent?
Oh, yeah, he was in a tent.
I'm sure he was in a
Definitely.
tent. Yeah.
Definitely.
You know, and I'm sure he didn't have power or any of the other things that the people are going through that have been devastated by this hurricane.
Oh, my goodness,
It's so
Carol, why
heartless.
are you still at work?
Still at
It's
work?
7:35 there, girlfriend.
Almost done waiting on Lil Lunker.
Well, Lil Lunker needs to hurry
Yeah,
up.
Lil Lunker needs to hurry up. Lord have mercy.
I'm sure he was in a tent, honey.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
More tone deaf from the left.
I know. You ready?
It's who is that going to wake up though? Of the people that are remain behind of the sleepers, is that going to wake anybody
There
up?
you go. He was in a van down by the
In a
river.
van. Jenny said he was in a van down by the river. I'm sure that's where, Sleepy Joe was.
Mhm.
Or he was at his
Catching
babysitter.
fish to eat.
Or he was at his babysitter's house.
Yeah. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
The time has come. I must do the will of my Father in heaven. I know you all have many questions, and there will be a time for those. But for now, will you come with me? Lord, where else will we go? You alone have the words of eternal life. No matter what happens this week, no matter what you see, or feel, or think, or do, I want you to know that in this world, I loved you as my own. And I will love you till the end.
Thoughts?
So, love that series. First of all, I think that they did an amazing job. That would be a difficult speech.
Yeah.
To have to give. But it was absolutely necessary for all of us here listening today.
Yeah.
Because we have a belief and a faith that somebody came and died for our sins, because we're all sinners, we're all making mistakes. And we wouldn't have had a chance otherwise.
Yep.
So really, if you think about it, it's an amazing thing.
Really.
I couldn't imagine understanding, having precognition that that's what you were going to have to go through.
Yeah.
I certainly
He
would not
knew.
want to take that cup either.
Exactly. But not his will.
Not his will. And I think that, well, obviously, I know that all of those lessons are in there for us to give us that strength to continue on, to drive on, no matter how ugly things look. But that's also the very thing that gave each one of us the light that we can share with other people. And that light is the light that's helping wake up the rest of the world around us.
Good night, Dad.
Good night, Dad. I love you. Anyways, it's that opportunity for all of us. And it's beautiful to watch it unfold now, to see the world that we can live in when we follow him.
Amen.
It's amazing.
Amen. You ready?
Yeah.
This is interesting.
Okay.
Congressman Murphy spoke with VP nominee Vance about the close race as the clock ticks down to Election Day.
One of the main reasons J.D. Vance came to Minnesota was to attend a fundraiser. The Trump-Vance ticket has lagged behind the Harris-Walz ticket when it comes to contributions. Vance arrived on a campaign plane with his wife, Usha, and went directly to the Omni Viking Lakes Hotel in Eagan for the fundraiser. No press coverage was allowed. The motorcade then went on to the 3rd precinct that was burned and destroyed in the 2020 riots after George Floyd's murder. Vance then met some of the former officers who were in the building during the riots. One told Vance it was like being in a war zone. Vance accused Tim Walz of abandoning the officers.
What was Governor Tim Walz doing to keep these officers safe and to bring order to the city of Minneapolis? The answer was absolutely nothing.
And with just 3 weeks left, Vance talked about the tightening of the race. Polls are so tight, and they seem to be tightening. How are you feeling, and how is President Trump feeling about the race?
Yeah, so I talk to the president every day. Right now, we feel very good. Right now, we're feeling very, very good about where we are. We think we have the momentum. We think, frankly, even without the momentum, if the election were held today, we would win. Senator
Vance even said he thought the Trump-Vance ticket could win Minnesota. Minnesota has not gone Republican in a presidential race since 1972, although back in 2016, Donald Trump came within 50,000 votes of winning the state. At the airport, Esme Murphy, WCCO News.
The campaign would not reveal how much money they raised at the fundraiser. They also did not say who attended the fundraiser.
Thoughts?
What was the point of that last bit? Whatever. Anyways, actually, I'm pretty sure that Trump won the last election as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty sure he won.
Yeah.
But then we would have been stuck with Pence again a second time, would we not have?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it kind of worked out for the better in our favor, didn't it? Also gave us a lot of exposure about what's really going on. The pause was absolutely necessary.
Yeah.
But now we're watching it on the backside, and I have a feeling that news article was kind of a little bit of foreshadowing that we're going to see, and that Minnesota's going to turn red. Actually,
like
I don't.
California.
Is he going to sweep all 50? I think that's the real bet.
Mm-hmm.
Is he going to sweep all 50?
Yeah.
In reality, he probably will.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know if there's going to be enough voting all over the place to be able to show that.
Yeah, exactly.
But I am firmly believing that Trump is going to be president again. Mike says it's about time for the October surprises. Well, I think that bit about Walz that we watched earlier. Hey, little lunker.
Glad you got Carroll. You took forever. Just kidding. Just
Time to
kidding.
get dinner.
I love you. Eat your dinner and enjoy it. Are you ready?
Yeah.
You're going to love this one.
All right.
Daryl, where does money come from? We definitely can't talk about this. We'll get canceled. Canceled? They literally killed the president over this crap. Who would do that? The Federal Reserve. Our government? Nope. Then who are they? Granny.
The Fed is a central bank of the United States. It's a private bank that loans money to our government and commercial banks.
Our government borrows money?
Yep.
Then who pays back the loan? We do. It's called taxes. Has it always been this way?
Nope. Our founding fathers fought this idea.
But since President Woodrow Wilson signed the 16th Amendment in 1913,
Uncle Sam has had his hand in your pocket.
that's why you only see 50% of the money you make. Well, now I'm just pissed off.
You should be.
Well, what do we do to fix this? There's only one way. What's that?
We rebel.
There must be some kind of way out of here.
Thoughts? Your favorite president was mentioned.
And screw Woodrow Wilson. He's the worst president. Maybe the second worst president, but he was certainly the worst president. I don't know. If he's the one that got us here, I'm still going to say he's worse than Barry.
He's disgusting.
Anyway, the Fed's dead.
Mm-hmm.
Fed's dead, baby.
I knew you'd love that one.
So we still never saw the logo go back up on the Federal Reserve building.
No, they're polishing it, honey.
They're still polishing that one by hand.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. It's a big sign.
Little Q-tips, half Q-tips.
Yeah.
Exactly, Chachi. So much disclosure everywhere. It's delicious.
It is delicious.
It is.
The Fed going down is going to be one of the best things that happened to this country since, I don't know, Andrew Jackson.
Are you ready?
Yes.
I got sassy again.
All right.
Let's go.
DT's in the lead. Democrats are shitting their dick, panicking the fuck down. Pollsters are predicting an EC landslide, coming in with a whopping 302 electoral votes. Number may change this current month. Currently, the projection model shows that DT is going to have 302 electoral college votes, while Kamala Harris has 236. Now, the lead for Nevada is not strong, but DT has it. Arizona,
Nevada,
Michigan, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and now Georgia, according to the prediction model. Looking like the only one that Harris is going to get is Wisconsin. Honestly, with the fuck-ups and gaffes they've had in the last week or two, they may even lose Wisconsin. Got a couple weeks to the election, anything can happen. Polls being neck and neck this entire time. The predictive modeling of Trump's momentum flip-flop, the switch is switched on top of a potential landslide victory for Donald Trump. Doesn't that look nice? That looks nice. I can hear the moans and the weeping of the liberals already. Even the prediction model is predicting that Trump's going to win 275 electoral votes. On a landslide, but enough to take it home. Overall average, DT winning 55-45. I still don't feel like the numbers are really that close. I can't fathom how they could be. But this is the best I have felt about these election numbers, well, ever. That's the update. DT's looking good. Go with the Lord.
Thoughts?
Well, we were just kind of talking about this. I feel good about this election and the prospects that President Trump is going to be president again. I just worry the shenanigans that they're going to pull as the petulant children that they are. When they don't get their way, they're going to throw temper tantrums. Question is how bad are those temper tantrums going to look? Some will be more serious than others, but in the end, I believe President Trump is going to win. But the only way that can happen is if we not only make sure that we're getting out to vote, but we make sure everybody we know is getting out to vote as well. No sitting on the sidelines on this one.
No.
Not if you can help it.
Yeah. Little Lunker asked if I was ever able to get that video unmuted last night. No, but I did get a better one, and it is video 3 in tonight's episode. And I did put it in the Telegram channel.
Yes, it is.
Are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Your favorite person, Jeffrey. Ready?
Yeah.
Should you cut off contact with family members just because they are voting for Donald Trump? Yes. If so far they have not been able or willing to listen to compassion, to listen to kindness, to listen to you, or even to do their own research and discover that hatred's not the answer, that love and kindness is the answer, if they are unwilling to change, they must experience consequences. And you should not withhold those consequences from them. The consequence in this case would be they don't get your beautiful, loving, wonderful presence in their lives. It's over. And they are gone. You need to make it real for yourself.
Sir, the dramatics. Okay, Jeffrey, let me get this gay real quick. You are encouraging people to cut ties with their family members because they don't align politically with you. Insinuating that a family member voting for Trump is inherently unkind, hateful, not compassionate, unwilling to change. Your video right here would suggest otherwise, that those are values that you align with. You're unwilling to change. The fact that you come on this app consistently and try to dismantle family relationships, probably projecting some type of abandonment issues that you faced when you were younger. I mean, I digress. And might I add, being cut off by you would not necessarily be a consequence, more so an honor. To then throw in the word consequence after everything that's been happening throughout this election, sir, you're not slick. Did you ever stop and think for a moment that maybe this rhetoric that you're spewing surrounding Trump is not why people are voting for him? Maybe it's because we don't want to continue to watch this country go to shit? Ugh, this creator, like some people call me a bitch, right? Fair enough. This creator puts on this facade of this light and airy attitude in his mouth and, you know, saying one thing, but you look into his eyes and the actual message that he's speaking, and it's just so dark and negative. You can almost feel the manipulation. Anyways, let me know what you guys think about this video in the comments down below. Like, so extreme. I love you guys, and I will see you in the next one.
Thoughts?
I would say that the manipulation is the most vile part about all of that. Like that is the part that's most vile, and that's something that's been going on with this creator since you've been forcing that clown on me.
I think it's good that his own party or own people are shut the hell up.
Well, it's like even on the left, they shouldn't agree with that.
I know.
And that's something that needs to be dealt with. It's nobody has a right to say that you can't talk to your family and that you should
But
distance
he's pushing
yourself from.
that.
Of course, he's pushing that.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely
And
vile.
that's exactly why AJ called him out.
Well, and these are the things that need to be called out,
Mm-hmm.
because I can tell you, get a hold of the wrong person with that, you separate the wrong family, and somebody's going to find out what it looks like when he's held underwater until the small bubbles come out.
I know.
And that's not what anybody needs, but he's doing something that's so inflammatory that, well, not that we ever would have got to this point before, but if there were duels, if dueling was made great again, this dude would not be on this planet for very long.
Exactly.
Narcissism. Exactly. He is a narcissist,
Mm-hmm.
because he needs people to support his piss poor life choices.
Amen.
And so he's willing to separate anybody and everybody because of his own personal unhappiness, that he wants to make other people just as unhappy as him. So that way they can go have tea parties at his house later on.
Exactly.
He's got it all figured out inside of his head
With
about how
his-
glorious it's going to be. But he never, for some reason, gets that fulfillment.
With his receding hairline, trying to look like a woman.
I mean,
Dude, get a wig. Seriously.
Time to take some Rogaine.
Something.
Bro,
Bruh.
use the Rogaine.
Use the Rogaine. You're trying to look like a woman and ugh.
Exactly, Jenny.
Exactly.
Misery loves company.
Exactly.
He needs somebody to make him feel like he made right choices.
Yeah.
I have no requirement that I know of to make anybody feel good about decisions that I believe are terrible decisions.
Mm-hmm.
But if he wants to open his eyes to recognize that he's perfectly capable of having his own little fantasy world on his own, he just doesn't have the right to drag everybody else into it.
Mm-hmm.
And you certainly can't use the government. At least you're not supposed to be able to.
Yeah.
To force your opinions.
Mm-hmm.
That's the part that everybody's got a problem with.
Mm-hmm.
Brother Bill says, I am really tired of all weirdo freaky people pushing weird and freaky all the time everywhere. Just saying.
Mm-hmm.
Jenny says Rogaine don't work. Y'all cracker me up.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Cut Doc.
Oh, this is precious. Did you guys see this? The Commies brought out their guru. Barack Insane Obama. The broke, washed up has-been former President Obama. The guy that gave us the slowest growth rate in history. Now, first and foremost, the very fact that Obama is speaking on Kamala's behalf only validates what Donald Trump said. Kamala just doesn't have what it takes to draw a crowd. And the tactic that he used was quite laughable, but very becoming of a person of his political standing. Trying to shame black men into voting for Kamala Harris. Pathetic. But like I said, very typical and becoming of a person of his political standing. First of all, Mr. Obama, take a seat. Take about 1,000 seats while you're at it. Second of all, Mr. Obama, nobody owes you an account for who they're voting for or why. You're no monarch. Not even close. You barely led the United States. You couldn't even lead a pack of wolves into a den, even if you had a rack of freshly cut T-bone steaks. Mr. Obama, this is a polite Appalachian way of saying STFU and take a seat. Not convincing.
What?
It's the shaming.
Mm-hmm.
That's all they do. They have shame as their primary weapon. And it's looking like it's about the only trick that they have left in their bag of tricks is shame. All they can do is make people of a weak mind believe that they're terrible for feeling the way that they just naturally feel, and then gaslight the world and tell everybody that we need to agree with them because that's the way they feel. Well, good. You feel the way you want to feel. I'll feel the way I want to feel. And then we'll hash it out in the elections, provided you're not cheating.
What?
I think
You don't want people to cheat?
I think free and
Racist.
fair elections are kind of one of those things that might be important for our country.
Racist.
Yeah, I know. Shaming.
I wanted to
Well,
let
yeah.
you know how leftists
I
would,
needed to
would
be
talk.
shamed. Yeah, I needed to be shamed
Yeah.
because I was thinking for myself.
I know.
Isn't it funny that you can only shame people so much until they just don't care anymore?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I
Well,
know.
good job. You built up our resistance to your fake shame.
Exactly.
Maybe you should feel some shame for a change.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Just saying. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
How about some Reagan?
Yeah, we could use Reagan. We miss Reagan.
The funny thing about this joke is that the more time passes, the better it gets.
Did you hear the story? About the kid who was outside the Democratic fundraiser selling kittens. When the people came out from the fundraiser, he was holding up the kittens and he was saying, "Buy a Democrat kitten." Well, a couple of weeks later, the Republicans held a fundraiser in the same place. And when they came out, there was the same kid with the kittens. And he said, "Buy a Republican kitten." And one of the members of the press who'd seen him there 2 weeks before said, "Wait a minute, kid. You were selling these kittens the last time as Democrat kittens. How come the Republican kittens now?" Kid says, "Because now they got their eyes open."
Thoughts?
What can you add to that? Reagan always had the best stories.
He really did.
He really did. I don't know where he pulled those from, but that was amazing, and it's still useful to this day.
I know.
That's a great story.
Great
and
story.
the Republicans now because their eyes are open.
Yep. You ready?
Yeah.
If no one sees you as an enemy, it means you're not important enough. If no one sees you as a threat, it means you're not strong enough. If no one talks behind your back, it means you're not outstanding enough. If someone is taking advantage of you, it means you have value. If someone isolates you, it means you are strong enough to stand alone. If someone imitates you, it means you are charismatic and influential. If someone slanders you, it means you are too prominent to ignore. If someone mocks you, it means you have a unique way of thinking they don't understand. If someone confronts you, it means you are superior to them in some way. If someone tries to bring you down, it means you're already above them. If someone doubts you, it means you're pushing boundaries they can't imagine. Remember, all these things come from others not measuring up to you. Criticism is, in fact, a form of admiration. If you are new here, follow our account and become a better version of yourself.
Thoughts?
So, the thought process there is probably one that we've all understood. As we've gone through this, people have attacked you in so many ways. But the problem is when they're attacking you, it actually talks about the strengths and the fact that they feel the need to actually do something about it. They feel threatened. We can't help that other people may feel threatened, but that doesn't mean that anything negative about you that they say is true or factual in any way.
It shows their character, not yours.
It shows their character, not yours. Every accusation really is a reflection upon them and their weaknesses that they refuse to do something about. So what does that say about you? It says that there's something about you that they like, admire, appreciate, and they're threatened by it because they're not doing the things that they need to do in their lives. Doesn't mean that we need to respond negatively. As a matter of fact, we should have pity on them and pray for them.
Exactly.
So that way they stop feeling the need to try to break other people down for their own benefit and their own gain. Because in the end, nobody gains from breaking other people down.
No. I used to get very upset when we'd post videos on DTOO on TikTok and we'd get negative comments. Now
Shit.
I just laugh.
Never bothered me.
Because it doesn't bother me. It just shows the fact that they're not willing to even listen.
Mm-hmm.
But I am willing to have those conversations with someone if they are willing to have a decent conversation.
If.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. I'll keep trying as long as I have breath in my lungs.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm also not going to upset myself to the point that I used to upset myself.
Oh, yeah.
As people would say, you know, oh, you're ugly. Oh, you're stupid. Oh, if I was your husband, I wouldn't want to come home, you know, kind of things. No longer bothers me because I know it's them. It's not me because I'm cute.
Or cute. It's the prime example of when you should show a mirror. And maybe they don't need to hear about that mirror, but when somebody's trying to break you down, one of the things that's helped me out tremendously is look at the accusation that they're making and find out how that reflects who they are. And that's one of the things that will help you not only overcome that attack that they have, because you don't have to accept what they say, but it gets your mind thinking about what it is that they are trying to tell the world about themselves that they haven't bothered trying to figure out about them. And so it's an opportunity to not only understand about somebody else in the way they are acting, but it's also a way in which, if it's not something that's completely trying to, you know, they've nuked the relationship and there's no getting back together, but it is an opportunity in which to try to help them grow as well. It's all about what you do with the information that's given. And we don't have to accept the accusations of other people, especially when they're trying to break us down. What we need to do is we need to recognize the strengths that we have based off of their attempts to try to break us down.
Amen. And yes, Steph, we will be praying for Paige, and
We
I
will
pray
be.
that she's okay.
Anyways, thank you very much for joining us tonight. We appreciate each and every one of you on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, X, Rumble, and pill.net.
And if you haven't already, please take a minute and give us that virtual hug. If you're over on YouTube or Rumble, hit that thumbs up. If you're over on pill.net, take that red pill. If you're over on X, smash that heart. And if you're over on Facebook, you have like 5 choices.
There you go. Clickety, clickety, folks. We
Clickety,
appreciate
clickety.
each and every one of you. We love you all. Have a great night. Be safe, and God bless each and every one of you.